What is up, Whale family, and welcome to Blockchain Beats, where we explore the pioneering artists taking audio and music to the next level of emerging tech and interactivity with NFTs. Our very special guest today is Harrison First, who continues to make waves marrying East Coast boom-bap to international dance. And now the audio Web3 pioneer joins us to talk about his new album and taking his social token First to the next level. Harrison, hyped to have you with us today to debut some alpha and some super dope music.
Yes, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Of course, I love the support, and yeah, I'm excited to speak with everyone today, man. Speak with you, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. For anyone who missed our first discussion, which was some time ago, can you just give them a brief synopsis, a Harrison First 101, if you will?
Of course. Harrison First. I'm a producer, songwriter, artist, DJ, based out of Stockholm, coming from New Jersey slash New York. I entered into this world via social token Harrison First, and then kind of branched off into NFTs, the metaverse, and in other like Web3 projects, and now also being on the board of directors of another metaverse type of music company. So yeah, it all started from the social token and then blossomed to this point, man.
I think you undersell yourself a little bit. I mean, you touch so much; it's hard to really encapsulate what you do. But I find it super intriguing that you're such a successful person in the traditional, music space and music industry, and also you're so deep and entrenched into Web3 and what's happening with, the metaverse and NFTs.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you saying that. I don't know how people view me, and I don't know how people are introduced to me sometimes. So yeah, it all depends on like the audience when I'm speaking about things. But yeah, originally, like music wise, like with just me and music, I came out of the camp, with Saint John and Teflon Sega and Janelle Kroll, that whole scene out of New York, and then yeah, kind of branched off to like being my own type of creative, where I was the producer artist. When I was working with those guys, I was just the producer. And that was fun and it was great. And I still want to be just a producer for those guys because they're all incredible artists. But yeah, I wanted to find myself. And I've always been a fan of just innovation. Like, I remember with some like computer science classes in college and just some of the more technical classes that we just had to take as like general electives. I was fascinated by it. Some people that I looked up to were like obviously in music was like Puff Daddy and Pharrell, but then it was also the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world and other like tech savvy people. And this is before I was introduced to anything crypto. Um, but yeah, I just like looking at things and seeing how can I be different because especially in music is so much saturation in music and in what we do, that I just want to learn and see how we can offer something different as musicians, whether it's like utilizing social tokens, playing within this NFT space, or playing in the metaverse, and just trying to kind of go from there. So I look at it as like from like a marketing and business perspective and like community building perspective when I'm doing music and playing in both spaces. But yeah, man. Thank you for that compliment too. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely warranted. I'd love to ground everybody really quick on, really the level of craftsmanship and skill that you have. I have your full Spotify as well as your YouTube channel. What do you think would be a good song to kind of introduce people and just say, hey, this is Harrison First?
Man, let me see right here. Let me see. Because I would love to play some of this new stuff that I'm
Uh,
putting
yeah,
in my
we could. I mean, we do got the new, but I
you
love to
got
talk about that. I love
even
to talk.
okay, even newer, bro. Even newer. I forgot to send you this link, but if you guys want to like get a little introduction to me and just see, like I would say, I mean the biggest ones, whatever. Bam, bam, bam. That's always good. I like that one.
All right. So you want me to go to the video or the Spotify? What do you think?
The video is good. Video is good.
Okay, let's check out over here. That's the remix. You got a lot of content. I got to search for it now.
Oh yeah, and it's
There we go.
yeah, that one.
So
But
so
just to
we'll
give
run
a
this. Okay.
On Angie's page, it's at a million. It's at a million views. Literally for these songs, I just put them up on my YouTube. My YouTube channel's not that big, but if you do Harrison First, Bam Bam, you'll see that like the actual official video on Angie's page is like over a million views on that one.
You want me to search for it so we get the proper flex on that?
Yeah.
All right. 1.2 million. All right, so we'll run this and then we'll come right back and talk about that new stuff.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Come on, baby, let me make you feel good. I know I'm just a project, baby, from the hood. You know that I think that you are really cool. Just wanna take a dip into your swimming pool. So listen to me close, I'll tell you real slow. My number one rule is to go with the flow. My number one rule is to go with the flow. And my number two rule is don't forget the flow. I could be your baseline, you could be my drum. Only as long as I think that you are fun. Pretty boy, come over here and get your some. Kiss me hard and maybe we can share my Come on, babe, I wanna have a good time. I wanna get you wasted or a little high. Baby, I am yours for a little while, but only for today, cause I'ma stay wild. Soaking wet up edges like a swimming pool. Play it right or I'll leave you in the blue. I ain't wasting time cause I got things to do. You only got tonight, so baby boy, come through. I could be your baseline, you could be my drum. Only as long as I think that you are fun. Pretty boy, come over here and get you some. Kiss me hard and maybe we can share my
Dope. Yeah, so then if people, look on Spotify, they look on YouTube, they will see millions and millions of plays of that song. Along with you have other songs as well that have very high count. So certainly someone that has a lot of traction in the traditional music world that's also having forays into the metaverse. So just wanted to ground people on that. Harrison, we last talked, I think I looked at it was 8 months ago, dude, 8 months ago when we chopped it up in March. Which is a long time, but that's ages in Web3. Like that's like a decade. So could you tell us like what has happened since then and what have you been up to?
Yeah, man. I've been up to a lot. I don't want to sound like a cliche, but I've really been focused on first the social token, as well as just trying out new creative ideas in the metaverse and finishing up my album. Finishing up my album and doing new partnerships and new collaborations. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot. There's been like places where I had to focus more on my attention, but I'll just start with first. Like so, in the beginning, like when we were first speaking, sorry, and I'm in my bedroom now, like just so in case people like looking and stuff. Before when we were speaking, I was in a super experimental stage with first, and now with stage two. Um, what it, the whole thing is about implementing more structure, and that's something that my community's been expecting from me and from all of us. And I just had to really spend the time on trying to fix the structure. That's from creating our DAO, which we just kind of rolled out and announced yesterday or 2 days ago. So first DAO is now officially up, and now we're just telling the community members and other people who have any amount of first to go to Snapshot and follow the DAO, just so maybe you'd be able to make some proposals or vote on some things. So we have that set up, and then next week we're going to be having the first treasury set up with the Gnosis Safe or Gnosis Safe. And now we're just determining on how much first we're going to put in there and then how much we're going to be vesting each month. So we're really trying to build on transparency, and then we're working on a couple project grants that can go into first for us to continue to develop First Audio. And First Audio, for those who don't know, is like a marketplace for producers and NFT creators to go and be able to utilize, music produced 100% by me. In the future, it'll be producers all over, but currently it's just all 100% produced by me, and NFT creators have access to that vault just by holding 1000 first and being able to utilize all the music in that vault for their NFT projects. No, no royalties or no nothing goes back to the first community as it relates to the music. Right now, it's just like kind of like a vault of music that you have access to regardless of anything. All you need to do is have 1000 first. So we're further developing that, hopefully, with the grant that we're applying for. So that's as it relates to first. And I think in a couple of weeks, I'll go to Fest over in Manchester and do like a DJ set there, but then also talk about the importance of community building and branding around social tokens and how influencers and artists can utilize this space in order to really, I think, cultivate a community around something and reward a community based off of your performance, and having it kind of like multi-transactional community as opposed to just singular transactional rewards. You know what I mean? And when I say singular transactional, I mean for like artists and influencers, they can always say, go get the tickets for this show, or go and buy this merch, or go and do this and that. But it's just a singular transaction. It's fiat for this merch, But now some artists, and we all know this here, but for people who don't understand this, it's like now your community can be rewarded off of your performance and based off of what you do, and it's like more of a shared thing. So I'm just going to talk about my experiences, my failures, my experiences, my ups and my downs, all with he's in the vault already. All with the all as it relates to first and social tokens. So we have that going on. We also, ironically enough, Dharma Wallet, which is it's an incredible wallet. I've actually just started to learn more about Dharma Wallet, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But what they've been doing is they've been partnering up with a lot of social tokens, allowing people to purchase social tokens via fiat. So now, I mean, yeah, you can go over to Uniswap and go over to other exchanges to get first, but now with Dharma Wallet, you can literally just go and purchase first with fiat essentially. So
And
I
that's
think
pretty dope because that could take out the gas out of the equation.
exactly, and I think that is the case, and I think it makes it easier for people who don't fully understand all the intricacies of yeah, Uniswap, or you get this to get that, or you this wallet. I think for people from like, yeah, just like the regular music world, and how many, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people reaching out to you, Nightmare, or anybody who's listening. I'm pretty sure your friends who are not fully aware of crypto, they might be asking you, how do you get, this social token, or what is ETH and what is that? Now I think this makes it a little bit easier for me to talk to my community that I had once before within music, and let them know like now it's extremely simple to get first. Like literally, you can, with euros, with the US dollar, with Swedish crowns, you can go in and get first. So we had that. They just announced that, and I'll be also promoting it. I think it's, if you click on the link that I reposted, there's like a discount uh, that you get. So we have that, and then I've been working on my album, which it's been taking me over a year now, with Angie. So I'm super excited because I'll let you guys know this first. I'll let, no pun intended, but I'll let you guys know this first, that it's actually going to be released November, I think November 18th, Thursday. So I haven't told anybody. Angie hasn't told anybody. So November 18th, my album is a full rock album, collaborative album. I'm produced, mixed, mastered everything, and Angie did all the vocals and all the songwriting. So we released a couple songs. We did "Dreaming of Paris," which is one of the singles off the album, and then "White Rabbit," which is a cover of Jefferson Airplane. And now we're kicking it off, man. And we have 2 music videos that are going to be coming out. So we've been doing a lot of that type of stuff. Yeah, man. Other than that, yeah, collaborating with Forefront to try to build a staking tool for the first community. Oh, and in the metaverse, I had an amazing, like, that was such a
Well,
cool.
hold on. You can't hold on, Harrison. You can't drop all that alpha and not let me ask you some questions. My goodness,
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I'm trying to catch up here a little bit. So,
Yeah.
November 18th for the album. Is that
November
what you had
18th,
said?
the album is coming out, man.
All right. And is the album called "Dreaming of Paris"?
No. So that's the single. That was the single we just dropped last
Okay.
week. So I'll tell you this here for the first time. They don't know the title, but the title is called "Follow the White Rabbit."
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I got to make sure I let everybody know, because that's big. When we get alpha here, we got to celebrate it. We got to make sure that's on the forefront. Follow the White Rabbit, and you also did a cover of that as well. I saw that on your socials. That was released as a single.
Exactly. White Rabbit. Angie really liked that. She introduced it to me. We literally recorded the first version in her bedroom, and like I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like, we did it to the original instrumental. Then I had thing, but yeah, I like that song, the cover and the original.
Yeah, and it's timely too, because I think I've heard a lot of people picking it up because they used it in the Matrix trailer, the new Matrix that's coming out early December. So a lot of people were like all over that song. So you guys coming out with that cover of Jefferson Airplane, it's perfect timing. I don't know if you planned that. That's coincidence, but the stars aligned there for sure.
That's God's timing, bro. Like, I'm gonna watch the trailer like later. I didn't even see the new.
Yeah, it's pretty hype, but quite honestly, I think yours would be awesome in there as well. Do you mind if we play that song for everyone?
Of course, man. Yeah, please.
Let's check it out. This is a cover of White Rabbit.
Come on, baby, let me make you feel good. I know I'm just a project, baby, from the hood. You know that I think that you are really cool.
That was bizarre. It's playing Bam Bam instead. Here we go.
Yeah.
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. When she was just small. And if you go chasing rabbits, and you know you're going to fall, tell my little guy, smoking caterpillar, has given you the Carlos, when she was just small. When the men on the chessboard go up and tell you where to go, and you just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low, go ask Alice. I think she'll know. With logic and proportion, have you fallen
Mm.
Dope. And that takes, you have to have quite the musicianship to cover that song and be able to do it justice. So amazing job, guys. Super, super dope.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro.
And obviously, that's a cover, but I'm sure you guys have some amazing, original tunes as well. Can we get a peek at some of those, or you just save those in the coffers?
Well, not well. Dreaming of Paris. That one is an original one. That was
Okay.
that's dropped that last week.
Do you want to listen to Dreaming of Paris as well?
Or should we play the music video, an exclusive?
We can, and actually have a couple, right? So, late breaking, Harrison hit me with another one. So I got two exclusives, not seen before by anyone else. Harrison, which one would you want to play for the people that are viewing right now at home?
Let me just make sure that I sent you the right one. So yeah, it should be the one that says Cherry Psycho.
We're good. Should we roll it? You sure now?
So
All right.
no, so with this one is going to be the focus track off the album. So the album drops next week, and this is going to be one of the focus tracks. And it was shot in a cave in Stockholm, and it was one location. We kept it simple, but we just felt like rock stars, so we just was like, let's just go with this. Oh yeah, we could play this.
Dope.
I got this hunger I can't get rid of. It's in my bones, sir. It's on my skin. I got this hunger. It needs to be touched. It's in my soul, sir. It's deep within you. Because I spit fire, snake in the grass, waiting to bite you. I'm coming real fast. Barbed wire around your soft neck. Pretty but deadly, I got that effect. I'm your cherry psycho. Detective cherries, leave your skin ice cold. I'm your cherry psycho. You know I'm crazy and that's why you won't go. I'm your cherry psycho. The taste of cherries leave your skin ice cold. I'm your cherry psycho. You know I'm crazy and that's why you won't go. I got this craving I can't get rid of. A bullet hole, sir, needs to be filled. I got this longing to fulfill. Don't know what's wrong, sir. In for the kill, yeah. Because I'm dreaming about you almost every night. I want to give in, but I hold on so tight. Desire makes my head spin. I can't decide if I let my thoughts win. Cherry psycho. The taste of cherries leave your skin ice cold. I'm your cherry psycho. You know I'm crazy and that's why you won't go. I'm your cherry psycho. The taste of cherries leave your skin ice cold. I'm your cherry psycho. You know I'm crazy and that's why you won't go.
That was super dope.
Thanks, man. That was your first time seeing it too?
It was. I saved it so I could get an authentic reaction. And how did you get a mace of all things, man?
Oh, how did we get the bass?
The mace, a medieval weapon of destruction that you had in there.
Nah, that's Angie, man. Like,
She just rolls. Yeah, she pulled that out of the kitchen.
well, if you guys promise, you guys, all right, don't tell Angie, but it's actually her dad. Her dad has it. I'm like, I don't know why he has it, but hey.
You are a brave man, my friend. You are a brave man. So I have to ask you, like that's fire, by the way. That was absolute fire. Thematically, you had this, you had the other song that kind of followed in theme to White Rabbit as well. What made you pick that as kind of the focus? Just after you made that cover, it kind of put you in a creative lane. Like why is that the central kind of point of the album?
So you said, why is the cover song
Like what White Rabbit, follow the White Rabbit, like this theme? Was there like a thought process behind it, or you just dug it? Or
Nah, so okay, so essentially, like, we wanted to go with this cultish theme, and I wanted to kind of advocate for like this community that wasn't like a negative thing. Like, there's always like this negative connotation around a cult, but you literally a cult are people who kind of like share the same ideas, even if there's some difference in ideas. There's like it's like a common thing, a common goal that you're going towards. Obviously we can all kind of like relate to that, whether it's in religion or like you're in sports or like your political values, or just like these ideas. You hang out with people that share these same ideas. So follow the White Rabbit is this bit of a cultish type of thing, and like in that video you see that we sacrifice the rabbit. And I don't want to make this sound weird and whatever, but in my mind, right, now me and Angie are the White Rabbit, and we're kind of like at least the people that are the leaders of this idea that we have. And it's like our values that we have, pretty much. And people can maybe kind of decode some of the things that Angie might say on her Instagram or things that she might share. And her community absolutely knows what her values are and what she shares. And obviously people who are in my community, and I would say my true community is the First community, because they kind of understand, and I speak with them a lot on Discord, or they see what I'm saying on Twitter. Twitter is where I kind of like share like real ideas that I feel. Like Instagram, I share things, but Twitter and Discord, they kind of really understand what I'm about. And that's like all about innovation, legacy, and kind of just like inspiring new ideas. So, I mean, I would never sacrifice a rabbit in real life. So it's all just kind of like metaphors and stuff. But what that's kind of like the theme about it. So in the second video that we have, we're also wearing white as well, and it's just kind of like a theme of like purity. And the sounds, the whole album has this, like, all of it has guitars. It's all rock elements. So, and we use the same kind of color coding. You see this like brownish, reddish, white, as well as I think there's another color. But ideally, that's the thing. Like, following the White Rabbit is like following us, but in essence, it's like following yourself, because all of us are the community leaders, and all of us are the leaders in the community. And even if there is like some differences in opinion, if you're following me or you're following Angie, we have kind of like a similar vision, man. So that's where we're at.
yeah, and I saw that you had this whole other gamification here and this kind of rabbit hole for people to fall down, right? With there's a dedicated social, and it looks like there's some cryptic clues that people can kind of find, some different things that you're doing if they want to follow and get into the deeper meanings, and like you said, some hidden stuff that's dropped on the socials and whatnot. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or is that part of the cult? We can't, people have to go down the rabbit hole themselves.
No, so the game is, I mean, you guys actually, only people, how many? It's like 20 people, 25. Oh, you guys got the exclusive. So essentially the whole game started with like dropping little clues on like release dates of songs, putting out lyrics for things in the beginning. Like there was a couple NFTs, so hopefully this is like a part of history, man. Like some people got like some NFTs of the rabbits that they were following. But in the beginning, what we were going to do was a release party, exclusive release party, and that's only for the people that kind of follow the clues. Now, because we haven't released the album date publicly, what it is that people who followed, you know, the rabbit that's actually red will get the official date before everybody else of the album. So it was kind of like chasing and trying to kind of like anticipating when the release of the album is. Um, because to be honest with you, like a lot, like the collaborations that I do with Angie, it's it's really geared around her fan base. Like her fan base loves her, and they're based out of like France, Brazil, the UK, and the US. Even though we're based out here in Stockholm, so a lot of like you know, this rabbit stuff and all this, I'm pretty much like the marketing behind this. So I know her fans are really gonna like want to know.
Right,
And
right.
we also have a page on Instagram, and even sometimes they funnel into my Discord. So I like to, it's a fun thing for them. So I managed to like mix in some of the knowledge that I have within the, you know, this Web3 world and crypto world with what we're doing. But at the end of the day, it's going to be like the release of the album.
Right. And you kind of covered a couple questions for me. Like I was going to ask you, is there an NFT component, knowing, you know, how integrated you are in Web3, and, you know, digging as we're talking live, I'm going down the rabbit hole and finding stuff, right? And that seems to be the case with a lot of what you do. But you also touched on another question that the community had, and this may be their first exposure to you, but no, they mentioned that the dark cult theme really working for Angie's kind of Lana Del Rey vibes, as they had put it. And they were wondering, you know, how much you branch out into other genres and other artists, and you know, people that follow you may be familiar with it, and you know, you touched on the onset, but if you could just clarify like the different types of projects you're working on beyond what just you do with Angie.
I mean, I think it's easier for me to show you than to tell you. So you know that latest link that I sent you? Could you play that latest link? Yeah.
Shout out to my mother, man. Let's go. Yo, I was raised as the black man. I was born to love bass as the black man. When they talk race, I'm the black man. I was trying to ball like LeBron. I embrace being that man. Like Serena Williams, I was raised with a backhand. Gal says she don't trust any black man. Now she got blessed by the black hand. Back up, sit up, tip up, lick up, pick up, lick up. I said, my mama told me to be sober. I smoke weed since October. Her biggest fear is not for me to get caught, but for me to get pulled over. When police come, it's game over. I live my whole damn life like they wanted me to. I saw friends getting killed while I'm watching the news. It's that life as a black man. Yo, Harrison's such a genius. Be against the wire. Yeah, I said now I'm coming in like a bad man, strapped up, kick doors in like a man down, angry at the wall like a madman. Let me tell a little fun fact. We didn't make guns, but they supply that. If we see any diamonds, we taking it back. I can see to their mind, cause my thinking is black. Let the kingdom come, I'll put this shit on my back. I said the list goes on, what I'm thinking inside. I got cuts, trying to put the shit in reverse. I got hurt, thinking less of my words. But like a black man was said in this world, speak against the wire.
It's a cold ass world in the city on full. Nigga stop hustling, he ain't make it out the door. Even Sodom and Gomorrah had to burn to the floor. Cain had to kill his brother cause a snake let him on. Drugs running through the city, but it ain't what we on. Had to hit a white cop cause he egging me on. Had to white cop cause he looked at me wrong. Had to hit a white cop cause he egging me on.
40,000 they be listening. My music is a delicious. I the vibe, supply the realest shit. Got so many vibes, surprise. I'm in love with this, I'm fucking bitch. Block out, pull up, cause I can't get enough of this. I'm on some other shit, yeah. Bitches, they on my dick, yeah. Tended to on the bitch.
Yeah, that's it. That was it.
I don't think I've ever been so upset that I'm not on cam for one of these interviews than that, because when that beat kicked in, man, my neck was snapping. That was super dope. I love the international flavor with that, with some of the, it almost sounded like Indian music or sitar or something in the background too. So love the way that mixed up. That was definitely
Thank you, bro.
that was definitely a I'll show them moment. So you did that proper, my man.
Thanks, man. Like, and that's the thing. So, like, I do like a diverse range of music. Like, even I'm on some dance records. Like, but this January 1st, no pun intended. Like, that's actually the name of my collective. I'm really going to change up to a consistent sound. I'm still going to be doing my stuff with Angie, but I might take a back seat and most likely take more of a front row seat with this sound right here with this artist that I'm working with, Black Man. And he's based here out of Stockholm. Incredible artist, man. And takes influences from his Gambian culture, from that like London little culture in his voice where you could hear it. And we really have some really cool stuff that we're working on too. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited for that a lot.
the amalgamation of the different cultures there, and then your ability to put the soundscape behind it that even branched beyond, what he was probably representative of. I love that, and that you can be that diverse in a lot of the projects that you do. So it's hard for me to, like, I'm so hyped now, like I'm ready to just listen to more music, but I got to bring it back to some of these questions that we got from the community. We have some of the footage of you in Decentraland recently. And you've been active in, the metaverse and performing there for some time, really, before it had the traction that it does now. I'd love to take a look at some of what happened at Metaverse Music Fest, and then get your thoughts on, like, what's working, what's not, how that's changed over the past 8 months.
Of course.
So let's see, we have some footage here that was super dope. Let's check this out right quick.
Yeah, and that's Allison. I'm a super fan of Allison too.
Crazy, man. That definitely gave me Fidmo. Fear I did miss out because I didn't catch your set, but that was fire.
Bro, thank you, man. Like I think it was 4 days, and we had the day that we went, my show had the second most in attendance out of all of the shows, man.
Yeah, I came through at the tail end of one of the headliners, and I was impressed with the layout and how the ease of accessibility that they had and what they had built. Because some of the events in the past, yeah, I didn't find the same ease to hop in and really be a part of it, and they made it really seem like an event. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you had to have this narrative going in, like this is my perception. Like you hopped in, you were like, I'm at something. This is lit, which was cool. That talks to the evolution of people understanding how to bridge that real life experience to the metaverse. But I'd love to get your perspective on on the fest and also how things have changed over the past 8 months and from your point of view.
Man, I'm super bullish on anything metaverse. Like, I fucking love it, bro. Like, in the beginning, it was just even in the beginning, it was a cool idea for me. And I was just pulling up at the London Underground, which was a little spot that, they were setting me up with. And I would go there and I perform. And it felt like a bar. Like, it really felt like we were in a bar. And I remember when it was like maybe at the most a couple hundred people, maybe 200 people at the most. And I thought that was so cool. And then like you see over time, like big companies really trying to get involved, and you're looking at other metaverses. But I was just really in love with Decentraland, and I like crypto voxels too because I have my own space there. But more so like Decentraland because like the developers and the creators would really contact me, and we were really talking. Like they were like, "Yeah, let's do this. You can DJ here whenever you want." And then for them to like have all these super huge names like Dead Mouse, Paris Hilton, Alice in Wonderland, and some of the other like people in there, Skulls, which is like that. I sit on the board of directors for that metaverse band as well, which is really great. But for them to like hit me up and say, Harrison, we want you to perform, and then they were able to like manipulate my my image of myself, my graphic image of myself, or my logo of myself, and really put movements to everything. Um, like my God, man, like I really felt like I was at a festival, and it was like for my performance, it was like 1,300. Even though they were in what do they call it, like different worlds within the metaverse, it just felt so good, man. And like I'm honored to be a part of this. In the beginning, I would post a little bit on Instagram, and people would be like, "What is this cartoon stuff you're doing?" And it wasn't until like Facebook, rebranded themselves and kind of like culture vulturing a little bit, but called their company Meta now, where people were like, "Oh, this is what you were into," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is." I wouldn't tell people to spend all their time here because you need like real human interaction, but
Right.
I love spending time in here when it comes to DJing and performing and meeting cool people.
Hey, I mean, you were doing it early. What do you think are some of the things that have, besides adoption and kind of acceptance, because some of these big platforms, do you think there's been an improvement with the tech or the way that they're presenting it? What do you think is the difference here? Because, like you said, early on, you could go, there'd be like 6 people, you know what I mean? Which was still cool because we're forging ahead with new technology, but it's certainly a whole different paradigm now.
Yeah, I think what they're doing a good job is like partnering up with different, I guess, partner like advocates that can
Right.
draw attention to the metaverse. But just when I look at this festival, man, I think it's like the graphic component. For me, it just really popped. Like all the graphic imagery popped, and there was a little bit of like maybe it's because of my internet, but sometimes there's a little bit of a glitch. But like there was like less of a glitch when I'm into it, and it's kind of like people are starting to wrap their minds around it because when they see these bigger DJs and big artists come up into this space and being able to tap into a different fan base and a different audience, I think it's really drawing the light to like Decentraland. And because they're kind of like the innovators in this space, more and more people's eyes are coming to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
And
beginning, it was like it was the crypto community, they only knew about it, and it was like they're happy. Well, to me, it was like spot. And now, when more mainstream people are coming to it, it's like really taking off. And the same way NFTs it's still taking off super hard right now. I thought social tokens was going to be the next thing, but now it looks like metaverses and social tokens is still gonna. It still has its time coming where people are going to turn their focus on that soon.
Yeah, probably intertwined, right, with the more and more Web3 integration that happens. And it makes sense. You're talking about the infrastructure being better on the back end too. So the experience for someone that comes in, is obviously people from the crypto space, they can deal with all the tech issues. We're used to audio problems or whatever, working it out. But someone going in for the first time, that matters, right? That's going to be their impression and how they go tell their friends about it, what they did or whatever. So making that experience seamless and dope has really been key. And so I'm glad that you, with as much as you do, you're seeing that on that back end. An interesting question relative to this that came from the community. They said, hey, this guy has so many lanes. What does he find to be the most productive lane for his focus? Like what gets him the most return? Where does he like to focus his efforts?
Well, I mean, the bread and butter always comes from producing. Like as a music producer, like
Right.
that was the beginning. That was always the beginning for me. Like that was always the bread and butter. Like if everything else fails, I know I'm always going to be a music producer. Like that's what I'm always going to be. Um, it's just that I have a love for intertwining other things with inside music. Like music is always the thing, but like you see the jacket, from my wearable collection and the shoes and the Harrison First logo, like those are things that I actually wear in real life. So it's like always intertwined with who I am, where I'm not like overextending myself into things that I'm not familiar with at all, or like doesn't have anything to do with my interest. So yeah, production is always going to be like the focal point.
Talk to me about these wearables real quick. Like you do a lot as far as dropping things that are relative to your brand and your community on all kinds of platforms, from Wax, the Decentraland wearables. Is that kind of something that you just like to mess with, or do you find it like it's something that your fans really reach out and want to take part in?
I think for each collection or each piece, I think about half of it is gone. So people really did it, like the metaverse community or DCL community. They really appreciated it. We had a couple reviews on it. We did a little bit of giveaways on it. When we were at the festival, a lot of it was being sold as well. I absolutely love this concept, man, because once again, it kind of puts me in a space where it's not oversaturated with everybody doing it, but and it's also really tight knit to like my core and my brand. Like I said, that leather jacket is the Cobra 77 all black leather jacket. Like I really got detailed with the name of it, and the person who like designed it and developed everything, his name is Obel. Like that's an that's why I love this space, man. You find people that you never meet in person, but you do these amazing collaborations with. So Obel, he's also an amazing wearable designer, and when he approached me, I said, "Yeah, man, let's do this." I already have some ideas in place. We can do the Harrison First head. That's always like, that's the logo of the social token. That's kind of like, my brand. We can do shoes that I actually wear. I like these dad shoes where it has a high heel, and we both signed it too, handwritten, signed. It has First on the side of it, and then I do wear that black leather jacket a lot. So instead of doing like a traditional like merch drop, I said, man, like, let's just bring everything here, man. Like there's social tokens here, merch drops or like a clothing collection, like in the metaverse. Like this is where I'm focusing my time at. Like this is where I'm spending my time because I really feel like I can benefit more people here as opposed to I can't. I mean, I'm not going to produce a leather jacket because if I do, I need it to be a I need it to be real leather, and I know how
Right.
expensive that is. So I would probably only produce 3 or 5 of them. And the shoes, I don't know what that process is like, but I knew what this process was like, and I understand this. And me and Obel, we're going to keep doing more now. Yeah, even though the price of mana is going up, I think they decided to lower the price to upload stuff or to mint stuff collections. We're going to do more and more and more, and I love spending my time here because the biggest thing for me is where can the biggest impact take place, and if there's more of an impact in this area, then that's where I'll be focusing my attention.
Yeah. Incredible stuff, and you really advocate and push on all fronts. And it brings me to a tweet I had seen that you had made. You said something to the effect of, one successful idea pays for all 10 failures. And I'd love to just, I love that ethos, first of all. But like, what are some failures that you've learned from, and what have been some of the most productive or successful things you've done that you may not have expected and it just caught fire?
All right, well, I'll start with the success, and I'll talk about just everything as it relates to social tokens, metaverse, crypto, Web3, like that. That was like God sent, man. That was I'm not. I don't want to get too spiritual on people, but for me, I didn't really understand what I was stepping into. I just kind of like stepped in blindly, and then like I finally found a space where I can have the biggest impact. I'm not the biggest yet or anything of the sort, but I'm just like it catches more traction than what I was doing previously. So that was kind of like the biggest success was which was just deciding to operate in this space. So that one I always, thank God for that I did that. And within that, there's been success and failure, which was like in the beginning, like yeah, just so much experimenting from just like giving first to every single body, not really focused on the tokenomics or the economics of first, and doing giving out more first than we were getting in first. From just like swapping my first for ETH or for whatever to do other stuff with it, just not really understanding what I was doing, but just experimenting. And some experiments came in good faith, and some were like a bit naive. But then the biggest success out of this was like finding like-minded people who wanted to operate in this space, finding people who enjoyed what I was creating, finding different platforms that enjoyed some of the knowledge that I've gotten that I could share with them. Yeah, and then obviously like within the traditional world, there's been a lot of like failures, but they kind of like were learning pieces from like
Right.
spending, yeah, from spending like access amount of money for projects that didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
that'll give you building blocks and the precedent for the successes, just like you're saying that. So I love to see that you advocated that and shared with your followers. Speaking of the Web3 stuff, how do your peers and people you work with in like the traditional music industry view your Web3 endeavors?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. Like everybody's looking at what we're doing here, from from whatever community, like my community, from Rarible, Decentraland. Like everybody is looking. When you think of big companies, they are all looking to the point where it increases our not our value. Just all of us here operating in this space. There's big companies looking for our knowledge. So in music, I've been having meetings with my director at Sony in regards to um, knowledge of NFTs, knowledge of like First Audio, from where they thought that First Audio could be the new beat stars. All these different meetings that I've been having with people, and some of it has slowed down currently, where they're fascinated by it, where they want to be in the business of First, and in the business of Harrison First, because they know this is the next wave. They know for specifically for artists, they know this is what's empowering artists. From some of the bigger DJs doing these drops at Christie's auctions and Sotheby's auctions, to people like me who are just creating these Web3 tools like First Audio, where where you can just have a living without the labels anymore. And the knowledge that we're gathering, other artists will need that, even if they don't want to operate in this space. They know, like these bigger labels and big publishing companies, they know that okay, this is a market that we can tap into, and if the artist doesn't want to operate into it, maybe Harrison First could team up with our marketing team to help introduce this artist. Let's say they want to perform in Decentraland, or let's say they want to have their own social token, or let's say they want to just like collect NFTs or drop their own NFTs. Now they're looking to people like us, like Nightmare, like all of us, where we can be the consultants for that. So they really value what we're operating in now.
Yeah, I'm sure you get this much more than me, but even, like you said, like I get people reaching out saying, hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? But my bandwidth is thin and my creative focus is obviously on some of my passion projects, so I have to pass. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Harrison First, VP of Web3 or something at Sony or one of these labels at some point in time, when you feel like, hey, I put out a little music, I'm going to take a little time and a little time in the back end to work some of the corporate angles. Could happen. Could happen. And if it does, I predicted it.
Hey, man, you have it here first, man. Hopefully you do. I'm gonna go back to this interview and be like, hey, we said it here.
Exactly. So just to make sure, I know there's a few people in our Discord or whatever that are getting their first exposure to you. How should they best follow up on all the new stuff coming out? Watch your Twitter for the album and how they can take part in that. And then likewise, if they want to get involved with First, they should hop in your Discord, right?
Yeah. For everything First, it's easier to hop in the Discord. We also have a Telegram group as well, but Discord is where we're more consistent at. And then when it comes to the album and stuff, yeah, that's Twitter and Instagram. You'll see, you'll see it when we drop it there.
Okay. Well, we'll be sure, in our Twitter link on Whale Community for this interview, we included, your site, your Insta, as well as your Discord. We'll be sure to drop it into the stream text today and then also on our socials to echo that. I do have a couple of questions from the community if I can keep you for a couple more minutes, or else I'll get all kinds of heat for not getting to them because I was rambling instead. Someone wants to know, will you be touring anytime soon, and will you hit the U.S. in 2022?
Oh man, okay, so that's a good question. I was just in the U.S. for the summertime, and usually I do little gigs here and there, but no tours as of yet set up for 2022. If there is, it's going to be a tour set up with me and Angie for our album. So that's something that we're still working on.
Okay. Someone did ask about your hiatus to New York as well. Saw that you had traveled back to the U.S. and spent some time in NYC. Was that a musical endeavor, personal, or a bit of both?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. I go back to see my family in Jersey, and then I always go up to New York because that's where I kind of got started in music. So yeah, I like going out there. Like sometimes I DJ at the Soho House or Dumbo House, do a couple gigs, do some sessions, and then yeah, head back to Stockholm and get ready to work in the dark. It's always so dark here.
Right. Yeah, it's getting dark early. Here's an interesting one. I don't know where this is coming from. Maybe some of your fans know something that we don't, but it says, when major motion picture acting debut?
Well, I don't know, man. I pray to God this happens, man. I don't know if I want to be behind the scenes or like in front of the camera, but I want to be in the movies too.
There's
NFT
someone
movies.
that there you go. And there's certainly some people making those right now. Here's a good question. What are some collaborations that you have in the works that are super cool and would surprise us?
Wow. Oh my God. I didn't even say, I just dropped a song today. There was a song that just came out today. This one is like totally different because with Angie, it's like alternative pop, like alternative
Right.
rock. With Black Man, it's all hip hop and rap. But what I just did today, just dropped. It's a full pop song. Like you can hear it in like a TV show like 13 Reasons Why or like one of those pop type of movies or films. So I did like I think a 4 bar, like an 8 bar verse, and I rapped on that one. So that one is kind of like you wouldn't expect it, but I loved it because it was something new for me. It's the You're My Next Ex with
Okay.
Asia. Yeah, so I just did like a little verse on that. So that one was totally out of the box that I know people didn't expect, and it came out today.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, thank you, man. I know you're busy and you got studio time. Last time I kept you a little bit too long, may have dug into some of that. I don't want to repeat that again. I'm known to do that around here, but love that you came here to share the alpha with us about the album dropping on November 18th, Follow the White Rabbit. Also, all the cool changes happening with First and being such an advocate and on the forefront of all this emerging tech. I think I need to make sure I have some more scooped so that I can be part of what you're obviously building over there. So I'm going to have to explore how I can make sure that happens. We'll share the links so that everyone else can do that as well. And I love to take everyone out with some music appropriately. So we could do this new joint that you just talked about, or if you have something else in mind to, leave a little taste in people's mouths, what do you think we should play?
Let's do the latest song that I'm featuring on. It's a bit popish, so if you guys don't like pop songs, I'm sorry, but if you do, it's a good vibe, man. It's a good.
Definitely. shows your versatility. Harrison, as always, thank you so much for sharing with the whale community, and I'm sure you will have an amazing album drop. Looking forward to see all the things you progressively do with First.
Thanks, Amir. You guys have a good one, and thanks for having me, and talk soon.
He's just so considerate, asking about everything. Calls me 20 times a day, he knows just what I might need. Everybody's so obsessed, so guys should be like him. But why are they the judge of that? How do they know what I feel? I could lie, I could pretend, but if you won't give me space, I start wondering if you're fake. You don't listen up, but you're not in your head. Don't understand, try to feel me instead. Seriously, who are you? Who are you? You're my next ex. Not about the sex, but you're such a mess. You're my next ex. You're my next ex. You're my next ex. Just another set in the alphabet. You're my next ex. Things change, no regrets. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. Things change, no regrets. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. Can you see into my mind? Or are you reading my text? How is it that every time you know just what to say? Everybody's so obsessed, so guys should be like you. It just seems so unreal. How do you know what I feel? I could lie, I could pretend, yeah. But if you won't give me space, I start wondering if you're fake. You don't listen up, but you're not in your head. Don't understand, try to feel me instead. Seriously, who are you? I know who you are. You're my next ex. Not about the sex, but you're such a mess. You're my next ex. You're my next ex. You're my next ex. Just another set in the alphabet. You're my next ex. Things change, no
Alright, listen. I can never be your ex. Why you saying something that I know you will regret? Lying to your friends on the phone so you can flex. I just wanna be the first man you ever kept. But you capping, man, I know you need me on the low. Coming outside, I'ma show you what's up. Talk to me nice, I'ma show you some love. Show you some love, yeah.
You're my next ex. Not about the sex, but you're such a mess. You're my next ex. You're my next ex. You're my next ex. Just another set in the alphabet. You're my next ex. Things change, no regrets. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. Things change, no regrets. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. You're my next ex, yeah. Things change, no regrets.
Nice guy. We're still friends.